Hare Krishna. Today I think about that I work as a designer, and my screen needs needs some calibration from time to time to show true colors. So I think today about these japa sessions, it's some calibration for me from week to week to hear true sound of japa, of my japa.
I think we need a translation on that one. Divya Shakti, you want to translate what he said?
Yeah, Raja Krishna Prabhu said that he works as a designer and he uses his computer to work as a designer, and time to time this screen of the computer, it needs some calibration to fix the colors so it shows the colors as they are without any differences. And he said that this japa session is like a calibration for our minds and our ears to hear the actual sounds of Mahamantra.
Okay. Thank you, Raja Kishore.
I also would like to ask a question, Maharaj. I was thinking that it is said, and it is like that some devotees and we may have different motives to go back to Godhead, and the highest and the perfect motive is to go back to Godhead so we can enjoy his association in the spiritual world and serve him there. But I've noticed that I myself often have the just get rid of the suffering, this material world, and that's want to go to the spiritual changes to influence this process of changing the motive.
I think we probably heard 1/3 of what you said. So could you say it again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably a bad connection here. I said that we may have different motives of going back to Godhead, and the highest motive is to go back there so we can serve Krishna and enjoy his association. But I personally noticed that my motive is rather to get rid of the sufferings in this material world. And I was thinking, is this something that will change due to our practice and time, this motive to the highest one, or we can influence this change somehow?
Okay. You know, what Prabhupada, he would say that we can become Krishna conscious in 1 second. And of course, you know, that That's like an ultimate statement. Become Krishna consciousness in 1 second. But that is the difference between being motivated and unmotivated. So yes, it is within our power. How long we last in being unmotivated, that's another question. But therefore, my understanding is that Krishna consciousness means to regularly practice and constantly practice. Just like anything in this world, if you want to learn the perfection of whatever it is that you want to achieve, there must be a consistency. So therefore, sadhana bhakti means a consistency in a regulated fashion, day after day, day after day, day after day. So that's what you can do, first of all. Don't be inconsistent. As soon as we're inconsistent, just like, let's supposing that one day you don't chant for one reason or another, maybe you're sick, you don't chant your rounds. So the next day when you do start to chant, the chanting becomes suddenly more difficult than previously when you were chanting. So even one day makes a difference to not chanting your rounds. So therefore it is, and then of course, if you take not just one day, but 2 days, and then 3 days, and 4 days, inconsistency, the more inconsistent you are, the more difficult it will be to return back to that regular chanting every day with consistency. So this is the experience we've all had. It's not something new. So it's important. So that's one thing we can do, which is what we're aiming for, to be consistent. Another thing we can do is to be more conscious of what we're doing, especially when chanting our japa, because it's mentioned in the Haridas Thakur mentions that the tendency in the beginning is to chant in the mood of some lip service. I'm moving my lips, but I'm not really conscious of what I'm doing. And we've had that experience of suddenly making an extra effort to be conscious of what we're doing when we're chanting japa. Why are we chanting? Who are we chanting to? But, instead of being on the mental platform, which is not easy, but again, it's possible. How long for? That's again, due to the level of practice that you've had over the years. So it's a bit of both, 50-50. On one side, you may have to wait. The more you chant, the more you want to chant and desire to chant. So that's one side. And the other side is that, well, today I'm tired of being on the mental platform. Let me make an effort. Let me make an extra effort today and see if I can actually chant and without getting on the mental platform. And if I do get on the mental platform, can I bring my attention and focus back so that it's proper. So in the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna mentions this, that wherever the mind wanders, bring it back under the control of the self. So that's Krishna's instruction. Try to bring it back, bring it back. And you may have to bring it back, hundreds of times in one session. But never mind the fact that you're doing it, that shows there's some sincerity in your chanting. And then Rishikesha, who's the master of the senses, he will then notice your sincerity and he will assist you and help you. So it's a combination of, achievement from ourselves and waiting for grace from Krishna from above. It's a combination of them both. Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. One thing is, in regards to the email which I sent you yesterday, what I meant was, because you may not have understood what I meant. What I meant was that when you go to a European country, as far as I understand, you can stay there for 3 months within that country before actually applying for asylum. So if you go to Ireland, as you were suggesting, you can check with, Alex is there, maybe Alex can help. He's also from Ireland. Maybe you can ask Alex to find out what is the regulations in regards to asylum seekers, especially the Ukrainian ones. Can you find that out?
Yeah, for now it is said that person can stay there for 1 year with this temporary protection.
Oh.
Which doesn't person doesn't need to apply for any other status. And since it's something new, actually, with this situation, so I don't think that there are much of the regulations. No one knows what to be after this.
And when I said maybe good, maybe bad, it was just a little bit of a joke, because actually for the devotees, everything is all good if we have the right frame of mind. The only thing that's all bad is Ukraine, right? So, yeah. But even Stuart devotees like Chaitanya Prema and Dr. Sergey Rajakishore. You're still in Ukraine, Rajakishore?
Yes, I'm in Ukraine.
Well, anyway, we were praying yesterday. I had a little meeting with some devotees, and we had at one point I made a prayer to Lord Chaitanya, so I asked the devotees to follow. And one aspect of the prayer was that besides continuing to receive the Lord's mercy which is very merciful, considering we're not very qualified persons in this age. We're very fallen. We're all basically in the same category, fallen souls, but it's due to some good fortune, we have received Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And then I asked him to stop the war. I said, look, this is not your mission to create wars, because he's one of the factors, in action, reactions. There are 9 factors. So the Lord is one factor. So he can stop it just like that if he wants to. So we were asking him to stop the war. Unless you have a specific purpose of why you're doing this, why it's going on, unless it's for the good of everyone, then please stop. We can ask the Lord. We cannot order him, but we can ask him that this is the 21st century and it's different than the last war, because in the last war, there are no devotees on the planet. Now there are hundreds of devotees on the planet. And not only are there hundreds of devotees on the planet, but there's also many, everyone actually on the planet is qualified to receive Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So by asking him to stop the war and try and continue giving his mercy, it's an option which we as devotees, we can ask the Lord to do. We don't insist. You can ask him that, this is the 21st century. There are a lot of devotees in the world, and all the world is eligible for your mercy. You can give to everyone, and even the biggest demons. So we want the Sankirtan movement to go on. We don't want it to deteriorate. So if you so desire, then you intervene and make things better. This is what we prayed yesterday. What do you think?
Was it a question to somebody?
Anyone?
My personal opinion that this is the best prayer you can take. Like Krishna is in control of everything, and he really can stop this war immediately. So
yeah. Don't think that we're not qualified to pray like that. We can all pray, and Krishna does listen to our prayer. Whether he is in agreement with it, that's different. Because a lot of times, as I've said before, inconveniences sometimes are a blessing in disguise. And we can't really see what the blessing is, but later on, there's sometimes we can see later what the blessing was. Inconveniences, but there was a blessing that followed it. So we cannot order the Lord to change his plans, whatever they are. But at least we can make our effort, and maybe that's what he wants us to do. He wants to see how many devotees, how many of us are actually ready to do that, the same as Sri Advaita Acharya did, which was to sit down, and it wasn't just a short period; it was a long period of time. He sat down and called for the Lord to descend. His prayers were continuous, and they were not just some ordinary prayers either. They were saturated with devotion. So maybe our prayers are not saturated with devotion, but at least we can make our little attempt, and I think it makes a difference. What do you think, Sergey?
I just want to say about realization. But, last week I go to visit some devotee in our town, and when I go, I see no people who I see this something scared, no cars in our town. It's really cold was. And I go and I think about it. That's this place is very terrible. It's sometimes I see military cars go in the streets, and I think about it. And when I come to the door of devotee, I'm realized that only reason to stay here is общаться с преданными, is be in association with devotee. Is only reason to live here. Вот так вот. That's what I say. And one question I have. I can't understand what we have to do or need to do when we see the bad qualities in our heart. Вот.
Why is that confusing?
Say again, please.
Why are you confused about what to do?
I just don't know. I think maybe they come, сами пройдут. Maybe.
I think they will disappear just disappear without any effort, maybe.
Или нужно прикладывать какие-то усилия самому.
So I'm confused. Should I apply some efforts to make them disappear or not?
All right. What was that?
So the confusion is that about bad qualities. Should I allow them to disappear with no efforts applied, or should I actually put some efforts to make them disappear?
You're talking about your bad qualities.
Yes.
Well, you should know by now that the process of bhakti does all that for you. Devotional service, Bhakti Devi, she can enter into the recesses of your heart and dig out even unmanifested desires. Not just manifested ones, but unmanifested ones. So therefore, what do? Well, you just do what Prabhupada has asked us to do, simple service every day, whether it's chanting, hearing, remembering, serving, these 9 processes of bhakti. Then she will arrange everything for you. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Ask him if he believes that.
Yes, I believe that process can purify my heart.
But
But when it happens, when I see the bad qualities in my heart, I just don't know this is what I can do or need to. Just like обезоруживает меня как-то.
so you continue doing what you've been doing because you've already made some change, right? You have seen the changes in you?
Yes, I see a lot of changes.
Yeah. So if you've already seen the changes, why be confused at this point? Why? The process is working, and therefore there's no need to be confused. When something is working, you continue working on it. You may be impatient, that may be the case. Why is this taking so long? But even that is not really something that you should be too concerned about, because our hearts are so contaminated that why should it not take some time? Of course, Bhakti Devi can rid of all your impurities in 1 second. But if she did that, maybe you would become lethargic in your service. It's possible that would happen. So therefore, it's gradual, step by step, bit by bit. And even if you have to wait 30, 40, 50 years, that's okay. So that's service, being patient. We have no reason for anything good to happen to us, but something is happening, and therefore I will be patient. Something is happening, so I've seen it in the last couple of years, so that means it's going to continue. And how much it will continue, until I become pure, that's not really the subject we need to worry about. The fact is, at least it's working. But be prepared, it will take many years, that's all. And in the meantime, we just continue our practices as I was explaining to Divya Shakti, Devi Dasa, that consistent service every day is required. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock and we're going to go over to the next session. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki
Goswami Maharaja ki jai.